Now when it comes to Christina or the Integra owned by Zosh, this car, the first thing I want to do as the first major stage is to get the interior painted. That's what we've been working for thus far, and hopefully that stage is done by the end of this video. Primer, base coat, clear coat, done.
And now, you're watching the Sunday Chick-fil-A Craving channel of YouTube. Welcome to BodeVision.
Hey, so what is up and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on another video. So I don't want to waste any time at all. I want to get some of the stuff pulled out of the car. We want to get the seat out of there. I want to get the trunk off because I just want that completely out of the way, and that's what I'm doing now. Man, I did not realize how heavy Integra trunks are, but either way, I got it moved. It's over there. It's good to go. Now the next thing, get the entire thing masked off. Well, the entire interior masked off. We want to make sure the windows are protected, and also the dash, the carpet, everything. You know the drill. And then we're going to go ahead and mix up the primer and then just go for it. So we are looking pretty good, looking really good actually. We're just about ready to go. I'm gonna wipe it down one more time, and throughout this entire process and throughout this whole situation, you know what I've realized? My retro sheets are impeccable. Alright, so the primer went down pretty smoothly. One thing about an interior is it's kind of challenging because no matter what, you're going to get dust everywhere, and that's just how it goes. So now I want to get that dust that filled into that primer, I want to get that all sanded down, and then maybe do a little bit more primer, and we'll just see how it turns out after I get it sanded down. So what I'm going to use is a 220, go over all of it, bust my knuckles, do the entire thing, and that's just part of it. The next thing that I'm going to go ahead and do, but I'm not going to film it because it's not very interesting, spots like that, or right there, or up in that area, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit more primer. I'm going to spot prime the entire thing. Well, I don't know. We'll see how it's laying out. I might re-prime the entire thing, and then we'll do that base coat. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. You already saw primer going on there, so I'm not going to show you that. So that second round of primer went down a lot smoother than the first round. It still doesn't look as perfect as I would like, but after talking with Zosh, he's like, just gun it. You know, I wanted to take a lot more time on this, get a lot more in depth, even take it all the way down to bare metals and make sure all of that seam sealer is out of there. But that's not the tone of this build, and he doesn't want it to take weeks and weeks and weeks, and I understand that. So it's gonna look good for the amount of time that I put into it, and that'll be all good. So right now, as you can see, looking pretty solid. Now it's a waiting game. This has got to dry, and then I want to sand that down for one final time, but that's going to be a lot finer of a sand. I'm probably going to finish off with a 600 grit before I do the base coat. And like I said, now it's a waiting game. Alright, so it's dry, looking good to go, and it has been since sanded down, so now the only thing left to do is we gotta go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna mix up this base coat. Here it is right here. That Cypress Green 9699 Integra. I don't know why specifically it says 9699. Maybe that wasn't a 01 color or 2000 color, but I don't know. I gave them the code and this is what I got. Man, so after one long day, well actually a couple long days getting into it, doing the primer, coming back the following day, then priming it again after I sanded it down, and then sanding down that primer, going into the base coat, clear coat. That's the process, that's what we did, and that's what you just saw. And I am exhausted and I am ready to go home. So let me know what you guys think. Are you a fan of it? I don't know how I feel about painting interiors because I always think it's always a challenge because I'm constantly fighting dust. And if you saw in the clip just a second ago, there's a bunch of dust specks in there, and I personally, I think it looks good. And then also considering the fact that when everything else goes on, the interior is going to be so dark, and that's inside the car, and then there's going to be those wire harnesses, and I don't know. That's it. So, man, I'm out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video, comment, subscribe, do all the stuff. You know what it is, YouTube. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.